Hey, good morning, guys. Today I want to talk about how to refocus and to keep going. How to refocus and keep going. I have a subtitle: "The Enemy of Our Dreams," Part One, because that's really what I'm really talking about today. Is we have these unspoken, unknown enemies of our dreams. In life, for our dreams to come true, we have to keep going. We have to stay at it. We have to be consistent. We have to overcome obstacles. We have to overcome challenges. There's going to always be something in our way. And so this morning, I just wanted to share a story out of my own life and share an example of how I've been challenged to refocus and to keep going myself personally, and a life lesson that I learned recently in therapy on really what's been taking place with me personally, and how I'm starting to learn how personally to refocus and to keep going. So the first thing that I want to share is a story. um I've been podcasting. Wow, I've been podcasting for quite some time. Let me bring this up. I think it's been since 2000. Let me see. Just want to share how long I've been podcasting. I'm on Apple Podcasts, and then I can sort it. I can do a sort real quick. Let me see. Oldest to newest. All right. So my trailer was back in. Let's see. When was my trailer? I dropped this in 2020. Wow. So I've been podcasting now for 5 years. My first episode was back in 2020. And so I've been podcasting for a while now. Sometimes I did voice only. Sometimes I would just record through a software on my laptop, and I would post to YouTube, and I would just post to to the podcasting platforms. Well, recently, my good friend, my brother from another, shout out to CJ if he's watching or if he's watching on the replay. But he and I have been linking up recently, and we've been wanting to elevate our game when it comes to podcasting. We see the importance of podcasting, we see the effectiveness of podcasting, and we see how we can reach a broader audience and how we can really add value to the lives of men, in and through podcasting. And so recently we started to test out renting studios, podcast studios, because we want to get into a space where it kind of gives us the kind of setting that we desire to have. We want to bring on other guests. And so we recently, a couple of weekends ago, we rented our first podcast studio, professional podcast studio. And when we did that, I didn't count the cost, right? The Bible talks about counting the cost, right? That's something that I did not do. So I didn't count the cost. I thought I did, but I didn't. So long story, or long story short, so we rent this space. We go. We have an amazing set. We have an amazing recording, and then when it's over, you've got this data now that has to be transferred. The recording itself. We did like an hour and 40 minutes, and that episode is to come. All right, I'll be dropping that in the next couple of weeks. But once we were done with the recording, now it was time for the technical side. See, I'm a creative. I like to conversate. I like to have conversations. I like to communicate. I like to chop it up, as we say. I like to share the information, share the content. I like to do life. I like to be in the moment, in the experience. Even like going live right now. I want to be a part of the creative process. But the technical side is something that I don't really care for. It doesn't give me life like communicating does. It drains me of life. It's a little harder to do. Not hard as in I don't know what I'm doing or how to do it. Hard as in it's a tedious task. It's something that I don't care to do. And so when we were done with this amazing recording, emphasis, it was an amazing recording. Our conversation was amazing. We were really enjoying this conversation, right? But then it came time for us to transfer the data. And I brought my hard drive, and there were some technical challenges that we have. And follow me, stay with me. This is all leading to something. We're starting to have some technical challenges, and I began to get frustrated within myself. I don't know if CJ saw it or not, but I was frustrated within myself, and come to the point where we're not able to transfer the information. The guy has to upload it to the cloud, blah blah blah. So we had to go through all of these technical steps. Eventually, I got the recording, but it was a long process. It took several days for me to finally get this recording that we had done. And even now, it's still a process to be able to upload it and edit it and do some other things with it. My point is, I had this amazing experience with my brother. CJ and I had this amazing recording. We enjoyed our time together. We believe that we captured some great content that we're going to share with the world. And yet, what I did was something called filtering. That's what I wanted to share. This is a dream robber, right? How to refocus and keep going. Well, at that point, my focus through this thing called filtering, it's a distorted thinking process. It's a thinking pattern that some of us may suffer from, and you may be able to relate to this. This filtering thought pattern says I'm going to magnify. I'm going to hyper focus on the negative. I'm going to hyper focus on the negative while filtering out the positive. It's a way of thinking. It's a pattern. You have this great expectation. We're going to record this amazing podcast, man. We're going to create this content, and we're going to bless these guys with this great content. And we are. But in that moment, I was getting discouraged, frustrated, angry. And the feeling that came up for me that my therapist helped me to process and to grow in my awareness of and to identify was I want to stop. I want to quit. I was that angry. I was that frustrated. I don't want to do this anymore. Not podcasting in general, but I don't want to go through this process of leveling up, like getting to the point where our podcast has the set that we desire, and it provides for the kind of environment and the kind of aesthetic setup and the kind of just the kind of vibe that we want to create. I was like, in my mind, I was like, yo, if it's going to be this technical, if I got to go through this many steps, I mean, this sucks. I don't want to do this mess no more. I don't want to do this. I feel like scrapping the whole thing. Now, if CJ's watching this, I didn't tell CJ this, right? This was just something that I was wrestling with. But until my therapist and I talked about it, I didn't really process the fact that I was literally filtering out all of the good and I was hyper focusing on the bad. It made me want to stop. That's why I named this one Refocus and Keep Going. My focus was on the one element, the one piece that I couldn't stand, that I detest. I don't like the technical side. I don't like the behind the scenes. Now, there's other things that I can and will do to remedy this, whether it's hiring someone else, freelance. I don't want to share all of that and go into all of that because that's kind of getting me away from the point. But the point is that this filtering is a distorted thought pattern, and maybe you can identify. Do you filter? Do you filter? Do you hyper focus on the negative while filtering out the positive? Something great happens, you go and you do something awesome, and there's one element that doesn't line up to your expectations. There's one element that you don't care for. There's one fly in the ointment, as we say, and it just ruins the whole thing for you. I can relate. I can relate because I can sure enough have A great time. Me and CJ were together maybe like 2 hours or more. Um, and we had a great time. But as soon as the technical piece came into play, I hyper focused, I magnified the one area that I did not care for. And it robbed me. It robbed me for days of the joy of what we had accomplished, of what we had put together. I never lost the content. I still have the content. It's going to be released. It's just taking a little longer than expected, a little longer than desired. But I want you to tap in. I want you to really hear my heart and hear what I'm saying, because maybe you can identify what is it for you that God is allowing you to do. God's allowing you to enjoy. God's allowing you to participate in. And because there's one thing not quite right, one thing not lining up, one thing that's not what you desire, there's one element to the larger scope, to the larger picture that you don't care for. And that one little thing is just ruining the whole situation for you. Well, at least it's ruining it in here, because you're focusing on that. So what do we do? If this is the case for you, if this is making sense for you, what do we do with this? We learn how to reframe. This is something I've taught others for years, but now I'm learning, many times we're teaching others the very thing that we ourselves need to learn. And I was able to do this in some other areas of my life, but now it's really coming full circle, where the things, my therapist calls it my passion project, right? Podcasting is my passion project. It's something I don't have to do. It's something I choose to do. I want to do. I desire to do. I enjoy doing. It gives me life. And I believe that I'm helping people through it. But it's something that I'm not obligated to do. And it seems like I'm finding these stumbling blocks, these roadblocks, these challenges that are showing up and like poisoning my passion, putting a little dousing on the fire, so to speak. But we refocus and we keep going through a process called reframing. It's a way of taking a step back and acknowledging in your awareness of what you're doing. Okay, I'm aware. Step number one, I'm aware that I'm filtering. I spent 2 hours with CJ, right? It's like you have to replay the story. You have to rewind it and kind of play it back, right? And instead of drilling down and focusing on one aspect of it, you look at the whole picture. So me and my brother were able to afford the studio. Me and my brother was able to link up on a Saturday. Me and my brother was able to chop it up for over 2 hours. Me and my brother were able to capture this amazing content. Okay, that's awesome. That's a lot of good that's going on. And then when we get to the technical part, the piece that would anger me and frustrate me, let's reframe that. How do we do that? Let's take a different approach. Let's take a different perspective. Number one, it's par for the course. If you're going to level up, as they say, new levels, new devils. If you're going to do something on another level, there's going to come new challenges, and that should be anticipated. That's the conversation that you're having with yourself as you reframe. If I'm doing something at a greater level, a greater degree, it's like a pro athlete, right? We got some runs coming up, right? If I just choose to go jogging outside, that's one thing. Not much is expected of me. But if I'm in the Olympics, the level of training goes through the roof. The expectations go through the roof. What's on the line goes through the roof. And so with anything that you're going to level up, you just have to take it as par for the course, that it's going to require a little bit more of you. And the process may take a little longer, and it may be a little bit more detailed. And so instead of me getting frustrated and angry at the technical side, I can now embrace it and say, wow, the next level requires a little more of me in patience and in practice, but it's still worth doing. And I'm going to still do it because I really enjoy the creative side of it. I really enjoy spending time with my brother. I really enjoy doing this thing. So I'm going to look at the one piece that I don't really care for. I still don't care for it, but I'm going to reframe it in a way that is beneficial, that's going to allow me to regulate emotionally, that's not going to send me off the rails, that's not going to push me over the edge. And I reel it back and I wrap it into the overall scope of things, and I say, yes, yes, when we do a podcast episode at this level, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to produce, to like go through all the steps because of what I'm currently working with. It's going to take a little longer to process. Yep. It's going to take a few more steps to process. Yep. And now I'm able to know, okay, my upload is going to take an hour. My download is going to take another hour. Putting it into this program is going to take X amount of time. Now I have a preview. Now I know what is required. So I can go ahead and set it and forget it and go off and do something else. That no longer has to worry me, stress me out, and frustrate me. It's part of the course. I can now go back to CJ and say, yo, man, when we record this on Saturday number 1, we're not going to actually produce it and release it until Saturday number 3 or 4. That's just how this one works because of the level that we're at, the quality that we're looking to provide people. I hope and pray that that makes sense. Some of you are filtering. Some of you are hyper focusing. You're magnifying on the one negative. And what it's doing, like it did for me, it's causing you to want to quit. It's causing you to want to stop. It's causing you to pump the brakes. It's causing you to want to say, I'm ready to literally throw in the towel because that's too hard. That's too much. And I want you to practice refocusing this week. Become aware of the filtering that's happening. You're actually filtering out like you pour, like if I was to pour my coffee through a filter, right? It's like you're filtering it through something else. You're pouring this good moment, this good experience through something else, and you're only extracting. You're only leaving what's left. You're only extracting the negative side of it. But all of that goodness is still, you know how when you drain something, it's like on the top, right? You're leaving all of that potency, all of that positive potency, right, on the top. Stop leaving it there. Stop filtering. Become aware of it and make the decision like I'm making the decision that I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to count it all joy, baby. I'm going to count it all. I'm going to wrap it all in. It's all part for the course. It's all a part of this bigger, larger, grander thing. And I've got the ability to do it. And you've got the ability to do it. So today, that was one of the enemies of our dreams, man. If you are a person who is like me, you dream, you hope, you believe, you're working towards something, you're fighting towards something, you're investing in something, then there's going to be challenges. There's going to be enemies. There's going to be roadblocks and stumbling blocks. There's going to be mountains. There's going to be giants in the land. There's going to be things that are going to come at you to get you to stop, to get you to focus on something else. And I'm here today to encourage you to refocus on the entire scope of things and to keep going. All right, that's it, man. Love you guys, praying for you guys, believing in you guys. Until next time, guys. Until next time, continue to love yourself, love God, and love others. I'm out.